In the future, there's a slow moving crisis that comes to a head. Basically, for a really long time, there's been a degrading of people's personal spirits or willpower, their souls. People become, less able to do basic things like, daily hygiene or eating, sleeping, doing the things even they want to do. And this is all happening in the world years before the game starts, where 3 years before the game starts, there's like a big crisis, the the agency crisis, where a huge percentage of the population, about 30%, just completely go like comatose mode. Like they're awake, they're looking around, they can maybe take a few steps, but otherwise they're seemingly brain dead, but with no medical justification. So, anyways, you have all these essentially zombie people, non threatening zombies, but zombie people around that the world has to adapt to take care of. So, a company rises to the forefront, and it's organized across different international entities and everything. But they come up with a AI headset that they can wear, that anyone can wear, not just the spiritually brain dead, but anyone. And the headset just connects to the brain and scans it, and then tries to basically guess at what the person wearing the headset wants to do, and then just kind of reinforces that action. So imagine, you and your lowest energy state, you don't have any motivation for the project you're working on. So that's that's this world times like 1,000. You have these people that like really actually can't do anything, practically stop being themselves at all. And but these headsets kind of boost some of those electrical activities. So now you have people, it's nothing close to like a full, self-actualized life, but they're able to move through society, feed themselves, go to the bathroom, and do simple tasks like think your traditional assembly line worker, or office desk, worker. Anyways, you have this going on where there's a huge portion of the population, and there's a gradation towards it. So basically, maybe 30% of the population are just like completely useless without these headsets, and with the headsets, they can do really your typical like NPC behavior. Very simple, go from point A to point B and come back. So the player is walking around. Some people are real people. Some people are these like kind of stage three, spiritually handicapped people. And the world is still trying to understand what exactly is going on. What they do know is there's a type of sort of essence, um, evaporation that's happening, where people have a energy signature that shows some sort of association between them and this sort of magical platonic soul energy. So what becomes obvious is that the world has been losing like a total rate of like soul essence over time, slowly for centuries, but lately very rapidly. And there's a lot of sources, it's a lot of people kind of dipping into the pot of this energy. um, and that's part of the game, is discovering why this happened in the first place, why this is happening at all, and who are the culprits, how do you put things right, can you put things right, and how do you transition from the modern solution, which is these headsets that even normal people will wear in order to kind of get through modern society, which in many ways has dystopian elements where you're very separated from what gives your life meaning. So that's something that's happening, supposed to be happening very much in the background. The game really is about developing relationships with people, and getting to know them, and deciding who you want to spend time with and who you want to get closer to. The political diplomatic strategy of finding out what's going on with the world. What role does the spirit world play in releasing this spirit energy, this essence, into the modern world, and is the spirit world playing a role in withholding the energy that would normally be flowing to the world? For what purpose? Are there people finding ways to extract this willpower, out of the ecosystem, out of the life cycle? And there is a life cycle. So the way that soul essence works in this universe is when a new person is born, a potential spirit is assigned to them in the spirit world, and that is destined to merge with a special kind of spirit essence, which takes the form of a monster, kind of merging together in the spirit world, and that kind of generates the spark for them to become, who they could be in the modern world. So that's all happening, and there's a lot of things interrupting that process, both directly in the modern world and in the spirit world. So that's a kind of a fun background concept. What really interests me about these sorts of ideas is I've wanted to explore for a long time the difficulties of the modern world. There's definitely a dismissiveness of the struggles that people face in all parts of the modern world, and in real life, from the simple, going to a job or school, maintaining friendships, and the pros and cons, double-edged sword of easy connectivity, where it makes it easier to connect with people when there's clear interest on both sides, and neither person is feeling sad, tired, or insecure, which isn't often. And the other side of that, the problem is, it makes it much easier to not be exposed to convenient social interaction. So it takes a lot more initiative on the part of the person these days, and I would certainly apply that to myself. Like I have to be very aware and engaged in order to make social interactions happen, to meet and talk with people, and to spend time with the people that I do care about. And I think that'll be a really interesting thing to have going on in the background. I don't want it to be too much, which is a huge danger for concepts like these that can kind of infect and ruin a good story just because you want to explore some exciting philosophical ideas. But I think it's something that people will be able to relate to, because I certainly found in my own life the struggle to do the things that I want to do, and then when it's hard enough to do the things you want to do, how are you supposed to motivate to do all the things you don't want to do? From the obvious, like cleaning or random stuff like that, but then also like mailing letters and doing all these things that come up in modern day life. You have so much to do, and I think people don't give themselves enough credit for how much of a struggle it is. We're really all existing in a state of failure when it comes to our responsibilities, and there's this huge gradient of responsibilities, and that's part of modern life, and in most of the world, is accepting that you're not going to meet all of the expectations, or like you could think of it as like the skill cap for all the things you could be doing. Like, oh, I should organize this and work on this that way, and spend this amount of time doing this, and spend only this amount of time doing this. We're kind of beset by all this never-endingly, and always needing to accept that we're not going to get as much done as we feel like we should. Whereas maybe in the past, and maybe this is not maybe it's not unique to modern life, maybe it's just always been this way, but I feel like in the past there was a lot less going on. You could sit in bed and spend an entire work day doing work and responsibilities from your phone in a lot of jobs. That's insane, and infinite reach gives a lot more flexibility. You can go to a coffee shop, that's cool, but it also gives infinite constraint. So, you definitely, most people, or I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people bring their phones and laptops in a, work connected way on vacation, and on the weekends, checking it all the time, because you can, and that helps relieve maybe some of the stress of of doing similar stuff not as well, like failing to respond to emails as quickly as you want to, uh, during the normal times, but it's a lot. And so I'm hoping that in a fun, more exciting, less depressing way, I can explore some of these ideas with this kind of agency crisis system where people's souls are, literally disintegrating, and giving the player a bunch of tools and systems to fight against that process, but also discover what's causing it, and challenge all the different interfering forces. I'll probably talk more about this agency system in the future, so let me know what you think, and I'll make another video soon. Thanks.